These are the 3 things you need to know about dating Libra Man. Happy Tuesday, everyone. In this video, I am talking about Libra Man, what it's like to date him, his personality, things that might not be so obvious from the surface. Let's get into it. The first thing you need to know about Libra Man is the charm, the compliments, the flirtatiousness. People that watch my videos know I struggle to describe things concisely. I wouldn't really say it's a struggle. I can do it. I just don't always want to. I have to do it a lot with work. I'm a lawyer. Gotta be concise. Can't be rambling all the time. All this is to say that this video is not gonna get any better, right? Because when we say, oh, a Libra man is charming or he's flirtatious, right? That is not scratching the surface. It's not really doing Libra Man justice. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of viewers out there that are like, I don't care if we don't do Libra Man justice. He deserves to get whatever's coming to him. A lot of hate for Libra men. They can be flaky, they can be wish-washy, they can be a little bit hard to pin down. Sometimes Libra men hurt people and it's not always intentional. I mean, it's intentional, but it's not always, they don't appreciate to what degree they have an effect on people and to what degree the words they say and they choose and the way that they express them actually affect people's realities. Let's just get it out. I mean, Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, and Venus is a planet that is about finding connections between yourself and other people, finding connections and harmony and things in common and things that you resonate with in the people that you meet. It's finding that resonance in things in life like hobbies or objects that you find beautiful. There's such a strong drive for Libra and Libra Man to really find the things that they like. And I know that Libra has a reputation for being a wish-washy sign. Oh, they can't make up their mind. Sometimes that's true. We can talk about that a little bit more in a moment, but Libra definitely has taste. They have aesthetic taste, they have preferences, they have things that they like and things they don't like. And things that they like, typically they know it. In Libra Man, this Venus-ruled person, they're constantly driven by this drive to identify, not just identify, but move towards things that they like. They like beautiful things, they like beautiful people, they like beautiful people. They want to be where the cool things are, where the beautiful things are. There's just, it's a little bit like bees being drawn to honey. They want to create a certain lightness, a certain beauty, a certain comfort. And even when Libra Man doesn't resonate with a particular situation, maybe they don't really like spending time with Jimmy and Rebecca, or they don't really like going to a particular restaurant. These are like not good examples, but they don't see the value in being so upfront about, oh, I don't like Jimmy, I don't like Rebecca. They freaking suck. Like, they're not just gonna go off on that because the discomfort and the friction of the psychic irritation that they get from, I don't know, having to put that out there and force something and make something very known and solid, like a dislike or a distaste known, it's not worth it. They'll just hang out with Rebecca and whatever the guy's name that I just made up was, but they'll be a little bit checked out. They're not gonna totally invest. In that sense, Libra men, it's an air sign, right? So air expands to fit the container that it's in. It has preferences, but it doesn't it's not gonna be a block in a highway. It's not going to take a bullet for something. It's not going to redirect something or make a decision that is going to affect the day of a lot of people. It wants to be recognized, it wants to be validated, it wants to be complimented, but it wants to be able to Irish exit too when it suddenly feels like, ooh, I don't really like the people here. This shit got kind of ugly. Almost as like a shortcut in life. Libra and Libra Man knows that they want to be connected and close to as much beauty as possible. And having to decide and litigate where they want to direct their energy is like too much work for them. It's also just like a buzzkill. They're just like, they want to be chill. And so their approach is more just like, I'm gonna create charm everywhere. I'm going to make people like me. I'm gonna keep all these doors open. It's not like Libra is trying to constantly open all these doors to travel through. It's more just as they handle this drive toward finding and cultivating beauty, they don't totally know where the beauty is yet. If there's not beauty, at least there's not going to be friction. Libra Man understands that making people, building coalitions with people, building connections with people, making other people feel good, those are ways to create harmony. Those are ways to create beauty. Those are also just ways that feel comfortable and natural to a Libra. Libra, it's very easy for them to sometimes get into this mindset where they think, I know how to make everyone feel good, just compliment them, right? And I know that because I know that if I was treated like that or if I was complimented, I would really like that. There's intense self-awareness about a Libra man. They're so thoughtful about how they are coming across and again, how almost they want to have their needs met. They actually want that attention. They want that understanding. They want people to compliment and charm them. And it's so top of mind for them that when they interact with people, it just kind of comes out. Like that's just in there. It's a little bit written in their kind of psychic emotional DNA. It's just how it comes across, right? And they just really understand how good it feels to be charmed and to be complimented. And so they give it because it's not hard for them. It's not so awkward for them. But Libras get themselves into trouble when they get a little bit too untethered from what they actually want, maybe in situations where they really don't know what they want, because getting to know other people or charming other people, it almost becomes a little bit of a game that Libra men know very well. And people actually miss, or they place too much emphasis sometimes on the attention that Libra men can give them. And who can blame them, right? If some person is just like peppering you with compliments and charming you and just being such a good listener and just, shining such a bright light on you, you're kind of like, oh, this person likes me. This person is flirting with me or whatever. They have intentions. And sometimes Libra is doing that not because, they have all those things or any of that is actually true. It's just like that's such the default for them. It's easy for them. It's autopilot for them. And that's tough. You can't blame someone for wanting that. But then Libras, if they're not, again, tethered to what they want, they get a little bit drawn in. They're like, oh, this person is interested in me. Maybe I should be interested in them. But that's all coming after, oh, this kind of autopilot, flirty, charmy kind of thing comes on. And then the other person makes a move and they're like, ooh, now this is an option. Whereas sometimes Libra men or more mature Libra men realize I'm in control of everything. I don't have to be responding or getting pulled into these different vibes, these different sort of requests or intentions of other people. I should decide what I want. I'm not just charming everyone and seeing what sticks, throwing spaghetti at a wall, seeing what sticks. I am a Libra man, so I feel like I'm being a little bit extra critical of the sign, because I understand it well and I can get away with it. And I also have obviously a deep love and appreciation for my own sun sign. I do want to hit home that maybe I'm being a little bit unfair. I think in a lot of ways, this charm is criticized or it's seen as superficial, but you have to realize it's also like an extreme gift. Like, yes, there is always flaws and there's always pros of every kind of quality. And yes, it can be flaky or it can seem shallow sometimes, and sometimes it can be, but the ability to actually be able to charm someone and build a connection and find things you have in common with other people, it takes a lot of other person focused energy, right? It takes a lot of thoughtfulness. It takes a lot of anticipation. It takes a lot of just attention to what another person maybe wants or what feels good to them. And when you have a Libra in your life, that kind of power is dialed in a really genuine way to you. It's really remarkable. And you don't typically get that relationship focused intensity and energy a lot from, or in the same way from a lot of other signs. So I don't want to totally demonize it or criticize it because, there's a tremendously attractive quality about that. But you also have to understand that it can also be a little scattered and people can be both confused by Libra male charming energy. They can also get hurt by it, but you know, it is what it is. Number two, the difference between an evolved and an unevolved Libra is going to be significant, right? It's the difference between a Libra man that's incredibly flaky and unreliable and just, you can't really pin him down, versus a Libra man that is going to be incredibly romantic and idealistic and is going to wear his intentions on his sleeve in his pursuit and his relationship with you. And I kind of, I'm saying it, I'm almost like, I have to say it, I'm getting a little tired of how overused, and what's that word for something that's like a cliche, but it's not cliche, it's something that's just like very overused. I'm totally blanking on the whatever. But like the words evolved, unevolved, in the context of astrological signs, it's like, these terms are a little tired. But, you know, they're applicable, right? It really just comes down to a mature individual versus an immature individual. Evolved, unevolved, like most of us in this material plane, we're not angels, we're not wizards, we're not evolved phoenixes that are gonna be flying in the air forever. We're all constantly going back and forth, and we're trying to do our freaking best. I think as you get older and mature, you do your best more often in more situations, blah, 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 blah. I told you this was going to be a rambling video today. I touched a little bit on it in point one, but I think one of the biggest sort of karmic challenges for Libra and Libra men particularly is really deciding what it is, right, they want, and especially in the context of looking for another partner. The dating app culture, I think, has been particularly hard on Libras, because you have this, what seems like this endless scroll, this endless Rolodex of people that you can engage in some really stupid, shitty, unsatisfying 2 or 3, 4 message exchange before you're like, am I gonna meet this person? Probably not. And then you like go on to the next person that, you know, you match with, and it's like, ooh, you know, the possibilities are infinite again. Who is this person behind, you know, these like 5 pictures and these like 3 responses to like 3 very standard questions? Who knows? But like, my mind can invent a million possibilities of who you could be. And like, Libra gets so, I think, so detached from, again, getting back to source and soul and like what they're looking for, that they scatter energy. And while they do make great romantics, they experience the con of that quality, which is they're not always so comfortable being alone. And until they become more mature, they get a lot of validation and they get a lot of dopamine and self-worth and just stimulation from a partner. And Libra can get a little bit addicted to the game, to the hustle, to the romantic phases. Libra gets a little bit pulled away from, you know, deep and meaningful relationships are about building these sort of messy but ultimately very fulfilling relationships with people over time that require you to really stand up and show the authentic person that you are, and to have awkward conversations and to have tough conversations where you have to express what you really feel without worrying about, ooh, is this person gonna like me? Ooh, is the relationship gonna suffer? Ooh, are we actually really compatible? And going back to the dating apps, it's just like Libra gets in this mode of, oh, they have to like the most ideal person, or they have to like win over this person on the other side of a phone, which like eventually you meet them in person, you start dating it. It's like you see the real person, but it's still like the dating phase. It's a little bit like this game. And because Libra energy generally doesn't like rejecting. Again, it doesn't like conflict. It doesn't like having to be the first person to kind of stick their neck out and be the first person to put a stick or a boulder in a stream to redirect it. They approach relationships and in dating like, oh, this is kind of good so long as like I'm winning them over, it's still exciting, there's still steps in the game to go. Oh, let's collect the checkpoints, or let's collect the evidence or the validation that they are liking me, they are falling in love with me. And I don't think Libra goes into it being like, well, I'm going to give it 3 times. And then if it's not exactly what I want, or I'm not feeling the vibes, I'm going to say no. It's more like they linger, they keep going until, oh, maybe I see something like over there on the other side of the grass and like that's better. And then they don't want to deal with the conflict. And so they just dissipate away, or they just like hope the other person will do it, or they like ghost or soft ghost just because they don't want to, again, they don't want to leave a bad taste in anyone's mouth. Like they have definite preferences, but especially the immature ones, they get so worried. They're like, oh, I don't want this person to not like me. It's just like, dude, you saw this person 7 times over like a 1.5 month period. Like, does it really matter? Like, you don't want to be with them. Just freaking tell them no, so everyone can freaking move on with their life, you know? So whatever, does this mean they're flaky? I don't love that word, but it's like, Libras, their first impulse is to make the other person feel good. It's to want to satisfy the world. It's want to make their square peg into a round peg so they can fit it into a round hole. Sometimes they just need to be honest and be like, this is not the right shaped peg, and I should be upfront about that. So the flakiness comes from really just the fallout from overcommitting to things or spreading too far, just wanting too hard to find and to feel and to make good and to make beauty out of stuff that just doesn't need it. There's only so much, only so many limited resources. And a more mature Libra is just better at the outset of defining what they want, what their boundaries are, what their wants and needs are, dealing with conflict, having awkward conversations. So yes, an immature Libra, you're probably gonna, or potentially gonna experience them as flaky. A more mature Libra, you're gonna experience that less. And you're also gonna have to just understand that Libra they are masters at creating harmony, and the more well-intentioned ones are going to be better at doing that, and are going to be better at recognizing their limits. Number 3, there's a certain refinement about Libra men. It has to do with the Venusian Venus influence. And it's not to say that Venus men, they can't be tremendously masculine men. And this isn't really even a knock, as it is an asset and definitely attractive to a lot of different types of partners. Maybe not every type of partner, but again, it's that thoughtfulness. It's the influence of an air sign. It's the influence of a sign that's associated with the 7th house, that's partnership focused, that's focused on appearances and presentation and what works and what doesn't. Even the most kind of doofusy, clumsy, blockheaded Libra man is going to have just an innate sense of something silly, like colors that clash or things that just don't go together, or they're going to have a little bit of an aversion towards extremely ugly or crass things. Not ugly not necessarily just in the traditional sense, but things that are extremely aggressive or bold or polarizing or just messy, awkward. Like Libra does not love it. They're not naturally comfortable with that. They would prefer to just have to dodge it, right? And so a Libra man doesn't always do great when entering a situation where a lot of different complexities, nuances, and just like bad things have to be resolved. So like having to go into a situation where maybe go and talk to your kid's principal in school where your kid did something like really messed up, like they're in a lot of trouble, and the Libra person has to go and talk to the kid, but also simultaneously like talk to the principal and then like talk to the kid's friends' parents while the kid's friends are there, and like navigate all of that and like discipline appropriately in like in a socially acceptable way. Be sort of tacitly disciplining the child or telling them like, you're in big trouble, pal, when we get home, but also like addressing the principal's concerns and like placating the stupid annoying parents that don't have anything else to do, that are like mad at whatever. Just like that complex, so many different things. And Libra's just like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just go and get like a nice beer in like a warm pub and a nice fish fry, and then go be comfortable on my couch and watch Monday Night Football while I have a scented candle lit and warm socks. I don't know. Sometimes this can be frustrating for people that are around Libra men. Like, they're so good at, if they have to go up and win over someone or charm someone or, you know, win the affection and attention of someone, like they are the person to do it. They have that power. But sometimes going into a situation where the other person wants them to be like, yo, that person was a jerk to me, like go tell them off, go tell them what's up. Sometimes Libra men don't want to do that. Just like, why? Like, let's just go, or I don't want to. Libra men aren't weak. They can be very strong. They can be very traditionally masculine. I'm just saying they don't see value in punching someone out because they like spit on their wife. This is, say for example, literally they were like in public and like some crazy person like spit on their wife and like their wife is like, oh, go beat him up. Well, like the Libra person is like, yes, what just happened was tragic and that is extremely gross and I'm so sorry. And I'm like 100% an advocate for making sure you're gonna be all right. But like, I'm not gonna punch that person because what if I punch them and they like fall on their head and then I get sued for battery or assault? Or is that punching of the person going to make the spit on your clothing, as unfortunate as it is, go away? Like, no, let's just go. We'll check into a hotel, we'll deal with it, we'll go home, get you cleaned up. Libras are problem solvers. They want to solve via the path of least resistance, but also like, they just, what's the point of ruffling more feathers? Sometimes there are certain situations in life when you need to ruffle more feathers, for sure. And you know a Libra is really pissed or they're really bothered when they're kicking dirt and ruffling the feathers. Like, that's how you know. It also means Libra men can definitely be insecure in their own ways, but they're not always necessarily insecure about going to a Sephora with you or with their partner and genuinely being like, yo, what should I get here that's like gonna improve my skin? Or they actually want to go to the Container Store or Bed Bath & Beyond to make the home awesome. What can we do to make our freaking home or apartment like way more cozy or hugely, you know? Let's get a leather chair, let's get some scented candles, like let's freaking go. So there's something nice about that for the right person. They want to talk about things, they want to talk about ideas, they want to find ways to connect through the ether, through the intellect, through the expression of feelings, ideas, thoughts. It's less rustic. It's less like dirt in the fingernails. It's less salt of the earth. It's more, Libras don't want to necessarily get their hands dirty. They don't want to necessarily undig their car when it's buried in a snowstorm when they could dial it up on an app. Just have someone do that and charge their credit card. And we'll deal with it later. Sometimes their flaw is taking the easy way out or being a little bit too worried about appearances or wanting things to be easy and clickable and just perfect and all that. Sometimes they can benefit a little bit more from really learning how to take care of their shit, take care of their car, take a car apart, repair it. If you've ever read the book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, you talk about two types of quality. You have classical quality. It's been many years since I've read it, but as I remember, classical and romantic. And romantic is sort of, you know, guy just wants to take his motorcycle and drop it off with a mechanic and not deal with it, write a check, and I just want my bike back and it's gonna be beautiful and fixed and not muddy and great. Whereas the classical quality person is like, they are okay waging war with the frustration in the middle. Like, they wanna get to know the bike. They wanna be able to repair a dent. They wanna fix imperfection. They wanna be able to know how all the parts fit together. And Libra is more the first, right? They don't want to get their hands dirty. I didn't get to everything I wanted to cover about Libra men. There's always more time. There's always more opportunities to make more videos. I think I'm going to end this one here. I told you I was rambly. Anyone that's really interested though in further understanding the Libra archetypes, the Libra man, I know that they'll find value in this video regardless, even though there's a lot more that I would want to arm you with. These three things I described give a deep dive in terms of the essence and what the real nature of a Libra man is like. Thanks for the support on the videos recently, everyone. It's been great, and I'm gonna see you again soon.